Japan versus Brazil. Can the giant slayers create history? There is a team at this World Cup that nobody wants to face, not because they have the most expensive squad, not because they have the biggest stars, but because they have a system, a disciplined, relentless machine that has turned Japan from an underdog into one of the most dangerous teams in international football. And now, that machine faces its ultimate test, Brazil. To understand why this match matters, we have to go back more than 30 years, back to a night that changed Japanese football forever. In 1993, Japan was seconds away from reaching its first ever World Cup. Then disaster struck. A last-minute goal from Iraq shattered the dream. The moment became known as the Tragedy of Doha. For many nations, that heartbreak would have been the end. For Japan, it was the beginning. The country invested in coaching. It invested in youth development. It invested in infrastructure. Most importantly, it committed to a long-term vision. The goal was simple: turn Japan into a football power. Since 1998, Japan has qualified for every World Cup. They have produced generations of talented players. They have defeated some of the biggest teams in the world. And yet, one barrier remained: the round of 16. Again and again, Japan reached the knockout stage. Again and again, they fell short. That became their glass ceiling, the obstacle that no generation could break. Until now. Under Hajime Moriyasu, Japan has evolved into something different, something far more dangerous. A team built around movement, intelligence, and collective discipline. One moment they are defending with 5 players. The next, they are attacking with 7. Players constantly rotate positions. Spaces appear and disappear. Every movement has a purpose. Every player understands the system. This is what makes Japan so difficult to stop, because they do not rely on one superstar. They rely on everyone, and the results speak for themselves. Japan stormed through qualification. They arrived at the World Cup full of confidence. Before the tournament even began, they sent a warning to the football world. A victory over England at Wembley, then something even bigger, a historic comeback victory over Brazil. For the first time, Japan looked at one of football's greatest giants and refused to be intimidated. But the road to the knockout stage has not been easy. Japan arrived wounded. Key players were missing. Captain Wataru Endo was gone. Kaoru Matoma was unavailable. Takefusa Kubo suffered a frightening injury during the tournament. For most teams, losing stars of that caliber would be devastating. For Japan, it became a test of whether the system was truly bigger than the individuals. The answer was immediate. Japan remained unbeaten. They played fearless football. They produced the biggest World Cup victory in their history, and they marched into the knockout stage, determined to change history. Now comes the biggest challenge of all. Brazil, 5-time world champions, football royalty. For generations, Brazil has been the standard, the nation every football country dreams of becoming. The yellow shirt carries history, it carries pressure, it carries expectation, and now it stands directly in Japan's path. Brazil enters the match as the favorite. They possess world-class talent, they possess experience, and they possess one of the most feared attacks in the tournament. But Japan has something equally powerful: belief, because only months ago they proved something few teams ever managed to prove. Brazil can be beaten, the giant can bleed, and now fate has delivered the rematch. Not in a friendly, not in an exhibition, on the biggest stage in football. 90 minutes, one winner, one opportunity to make history. For Brazil, it is about protecting a legacy. For Japan, it is about creating one. For 30 years, Japanese football has been chasing this moment. From the heartbreak of Doha, to the miracle victories in Qatar, to a system designed to compete with the very best. Everything has led here. The question is no longer whether Japan belongs among football's elite. The question is simple: can Japan create history by beating Brazil? Or will the giant remind the world why legends never fall easily? the answer is 90 minutes away.